Amazingly, this story has nothing to do with porn.
A 21-year-old Chinese man collapsed outside of an internet cafe after a 14-day internet gaming spree. After the paramedics rushed the man to the hospital to treat his injuries, the man begged the doctors to, quote, leave him alone and turn on the computer because he wanted to surf the internet. A spectator at the cafe claimed she saw the young man often during his 2-week binge, during which he chain-smoked, hardly showered, and ate almost nothing. The man, known as Mr. Xia, claimed that he had run away from home after becoming hooked on online role-playing games, such as World of Warcraft, and he had found confidence in this virtual world. According to government figures, out of China's 649 million internet users, there are an estimated 24 million internet addicts, many of them teenagers.
All right, so this is one of my high horse things, that we're all addicted to this thing. I don't know if you guys watched Black Mirror, but it's a great show on Netflix, all about sort of the future and how this thing is connecting us and how it's changing us. They've done stories about how the internet is rewiring our brains and our need for constant approval and immediate gratification and all that. Is this like the next addiction thing? Like, I feel like in the 70s it was pills, in the 80s it was Coke, in the 90s maybe it was
Are we done
meth.
with pills and Coke?
Are we done?
Like, I feel like it's like, slow down.
No, you're
like,
old school,
All right.
That's all right. Yeah, then it was maybe Coke or something, and then it was meth. And like, is internet addiction like the next thing?
That's not a new thing though. This has been going on for, since the internet became a thing. I feel like internet addiction is not anything new.
Yeah, but you don't think these games are adding to it? Like, I feel
No,
like people...
I totally agree with you. I just feel like it's not like a new thing. I feel like this is ongoing. I feel like there are stories like this all the time.
Yeah. What do you think? Is this like is this type of thing coming out more? That people are just literally living in these I mean, that's what he was doing. He was living in a virtual world. His body was just some vessel that was to allow him to be in this other universe.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's because we're becoming reliant on technology in every sense. So we never get a break from it. So with every new technological advance, it just removes one more thing that we can do independently without technology. So it's not like with Coke and with heroin, like nobody else, not a lot of people around you are doing it. You're kind of in this little bubble. But
unless you're having a really good time.
Exactly. But here it's like everyone is doing it. It's around you all the time, and you need it to like get you from point A to B, to make phone calls, to find out information. And so it's like dangling the drug in front of you all the time, so you can't escape it.
Yeah.
I think it's just going to keep spiraling out of control, really.
Do you feel like we're trapped by it? I totally do.
I mean, I not to the extent that you do, because I am obviously an internet addict, so I have to kind of downplay it. I will say that my ex, like many years ago, was a World of Warcraft addict, and there were times when I was like, I want you to choose between World of Warcraft and me, but I couldn't because I knew what he would choose. So it wasn't me, in case that wasn't clear. So I mean, I don't know what the solution is. I feel like we're too far down the rabbit hole now. So I might as well make the best of it.
So whenever we do these stories, I always ask everybody, do you try anything to get off the grid a little bit, to do that shutdown? Because sometimes we'll have a couple people over for dinner and I'll tell everybody, just let's all put the phones away, not look. But then I notice we could go 2 hours without the phones and everyone's present and actually looking at each other and having real meaningful conversation. But the second one person does it, everyone gets the clearance, and then everyone's like, bleh.
Exactly.
Do you do anything to do the shutdown?
Oh, 100%. I mean, my wife and I do no phone dinners all the time. It's like a rule. I've left the country before and walked across the entire country of Spain without my phone just to get away, just to disconnect. It's nice to do that. You realize after you go through that detox period of feeling like, you are missing something or need it, you realize you're so much more self-aware. I mean, you're enjoying your surroundings more. You're open to experiences and new relationships and ideas. It's crazy how much this actually, even though we think it expands our world, it really stifles our minds.
Yeah. All right. So as a confessed internet addict, do you, first thing in the morning, you wake up, do you immediately go to your phone before you brush your teeth?
I'm not as bad as I used to be, honestly. I mean, this sounds still bad, but I'll get into work first. I'll drive to work and then check my phone, which is actually,
good.
All right,
better
that's
than
pretty
making.
good.
But I mean, do I go a whole day without it? No, I couldn't do that. But one day at a time.
One day at a time. All right, there you go. One day at a time. Anyway, how addicted to this stuff are you? You guys know I talk about this all the time. I think, and I suffer from it too. So I'm not being holier than thou. But I do try to shut down every now and again. Let us know your thoughts in the comments right down below.